Hey, welcome back to today's video where we're going to be doing something a little different. Now, as you've all no doubt surmised if you've seen a single one of my other videos, if my chromosomes were split in half, not a single one of them would be left without a buddy. But I decided for today's video that what would happen if I put 100% of my brain to the challenge. I am talking about full multiplayer meta busting, shift entering to skip research, settling perfect cities with perfect placement, districts all laid out, array. It's gonna be beautiful. And what better way to finish this gargantuan task than playing as the prettiest leader in the game, his beard quite literally floating in free space. It's absolutely marvelous. But Germany's one of the best leaders in this game, but is he good enough to beat who am I saying, bro? I could beat Deity with one hand tied behind my cock. Let's get started. I'd rather get my testicles stomped on by the Waffen SS with a Star of David around my neck than build a scout. Now, tech-wise, it's going to be interesting. We need commercial hubs early on since I'm not going to be going for a religion, so we do have to pretty much research those three techs. But after that, we're not going to be researching a single technology until we get feudalism. Now, the reason for that is what most people would call autism, but what we in the Civ 6 community like to call perfect planning. The issue with technology scaling is for each technology you research, districts become more expensive. And obviously, if you have new cities, then that more expensiveness becomes more expensive. It's difficult to get new cities up off the ground. So what would happen if instead we keep these technologies at the minimum possible, settle like 50 of our cities, and then go ahead and get all the research and techs after we get feudalism, which with 5 charge builders will allow us to skyrocket develop. That's a free builder unit. I could not have asked for a better unit. With this free envoy, we get Amani, and she is going to run Roughshed across all these city-states. And the string of terrible natural wonders goes back to back. There's our first civilization, Herald, and not the good one. That actually might be nice for us, since he's just gonna start spamming longboats in a Pangea map, which, well, I don't have to tell you why that's not gonna work. And there's a second civilization. John Curtin is a little stronger than Norway, and by a little stronger I mean he'd use us as his sex doll if he so decided. I actually have a brilliant idea. We're about 140 gold away from another settler, so here's what I'm gonna do. We are going to exchange. Okay, I don't have enough. We are going to exchange money with Norway, giving us the 320 gold we need, as well as a free settler. That's good. But you might be thinking, Civ Lifer, you're a broke motherfucker. How the hell are you gonna get any bitches this way? It's simple. I declare a surprise war, and in 10 turns he will 100% always make peace with me. That's right, I am committed to this game. We're gonna be sweating like I got prime Sydney Sweeney in the back. Now, the only issue with this strategy is the fact that typically the enemy opposition does not like it when you declare that you're going to torture their women and children. So we're gonna have to keep this guy alive somehow. Apologies in advance if you have begun to goon uncontrollably. But this right here is absolutely masterful. The only thing we're gonna have to do is, there's no way, right? Oh my god, they're actually serious. That is there's our second city of Berlin right there. And we're gonna go and get this city for right now using Australia's settler. We'll get a trader. The only issue I foresee us having is the fact that Fez is looking kinda strong with their walls. The good news is Germany has 7 combat strength against city-states, so I'm not too worried. This is very unfortunate. But not the worst thing in the world. If I keep this warrior fortified there with a few promotions, then by the time we make peace with Harold... Oh, I thought he was allied with John Curtin for some reason. Feast your eyes on this masterpiece. We're absolutely going goblin mode today. Early Empire is going to allow us to force evict natives much easier, which is really nice, especially since my capital's starting to struggle with all that production. There goes our 3rd city of Cologne using ill-gotten settlers, and that's our 4th city using proud German boys. Your seas are unprotected. Oh yeah, you're right, that's a national emergency. I'll get on that at once. City Patron Goddess is going to allow us to spam out commercial hubs in new cities as quickly as we can. With our new trader, we send him to Aachen and immediately get currency right after. With this, we can now begin producing commercial hubs in every city to increase growth and productivity. I may have gotten a little overboard with the map tax. There's our 93rd settler. Now I'm thinking about settling here now. That would go ahead and actually... Alright, I forgot we're sweating this game. If I go and build a quarry there, we should be able to get masonry almost immediately. And then from there, we can buy a battering ram. And with our extra combat strength, we're now at 27 against city-states. And so the plan is going to start right now, where not yet. This turn, we're going to declare war on the city-state of Fez. With our extra combat strength, we should... Okay, I was not expecting... Alright, we're going to declare war on the city-state of Fez. And with these units, if they continue to attack me, I should be able to whittle down their numbers all the way until I can get the battering ram. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at the tactical acumen of the AI. There are some situations in which you just have to marvel at Napoleonic-style disgusting comebacks. Playing with Civ 6 AI is not one of them. What are the odds he kills himself? Well, not very high, I guess. They're getting a bit smarter. With the quarry, we unlock masonry, and I completely forgot about you. Sorry about that, John. With this new battering ram in position, the siege of Fez can now begin. There's political philosophy, and as much as I want to go oligarchy, I think Frederick's big, beefy abilities are going to be good enough for us. We'll go Agogay, production, and influence points, and probably just God King at the end. Actually, nah, builders. Stalemate, and we destroy a third of the walls. That's beautiful. With this, the city should be surrounded, and as much as I want to do more damage, it's probably best to use the abundant farmlands to heal. Now, we don't have to worry about losing units since reinforcements are on the way shortly. And with that, Fez's walls are now down. It's only a matter of time. Australia's coming in with their own settler. We're gonna have to make this quick. Ooh, this is gonna be difficult. Think we have to bite the bullet and move down south one. It shouldn't affect our city-states our city composition too much, but I just can't afford to have these guys steal another city spot. There's Heidelberg settled, and I've completely forgot the entire reason I did that. The game is ruined. I've actually managed to save it. Not the best, we're not going to get that plus 13, but it's good enough for now. Harold's military's looking a little scary. I probably have to beeline to archery. There's our next settler. We'll immediately move up there. With fresh reinforcements, the city almost certainly dies this turn. We'll raise it to the ground, allowing us an opportunity to get up there, but Harold's units are making this a bit tricky. Yeah, I figured he wouldn't like that. With irrigation researched, we've got all the worker technologies we need. All we need to do right now is shift-enter banking science and keeping district costs as low as possible. I love this. You know, the AI is trying to find a way to make a beeline for my capital, but I've got all these units locked in the way, which also means that they're too dumb to declare war and just annihilate them with their stronger swordsmen. With this chopped, we can go ahead and get the next commercial hub ready. We'll get a +4 campus there. We really don't have enough gold to buy the rest of these. There's Granada. They'd be a good ally, but I think it's best for us to go and try to get as much exploration as possible. With Ancestral Hall finally built, we can start spamming cities and their builders immediately. In the brief moment before Harold decides to call me a racial slur again, I'll go ahead and secure some money from him. And there's the next civilization of the Aztecs. We should be able to get some nice gold. Make a corporation in Aachen, giving us the growth we need to absolutely skyrocket production. With Pingala in the city of Berlin and his promotion, we're now at 30 culture per turn, but with an incoming Dark Age, which actually is all part of the plan. And there is the most powerful policy card in the game. Feudalism gives us an insane bonus to giving all builders an extra 2 charges, and that is precisely what we are going to be doing here. There's the medieval era Dark Age, which should give us a path towards a heroic age. The only problem is the fact that this settler... Actually, no, he will be able to settle there. And there is the first of our many builders. Technology-wise, we're running out of districts to build, so we'll go apprenticeship, into engineering, into buttresses, into lumber mills. With the second part of this plan, the goal is simple. We are going to spam out as many builders as possible and chop everything we can. Every forest, every rainforest, every resource is going to get chopped, because that will unlock more builders, which will unlock more chops, and that's just going to spiral until we have so much production that we'll be able to chop districts out, and with districts being chopped out, we can then continue to snowball our mid-game spike. Weaker cities in production like Cologne and Ulm will essentially be bought. There really isn't a better way to do this. I probably should have gotten more of these production resources before doing anything. Another chop, another builder, and the chops are going to continue, as now we can finally get our Hansa, and we already have a +6. Production is about to be disgusting. Go ahead and settle the city of Magdeburg. It says rebellion in 18. I cannot believe this is there. And there's the first of our Hansas, giving us era score towards a heroic age, and turning Berlin into one of the strongest cities in the game, so much so that we can continue our settler spam. The second part of this plan is actually spamming mines wherever we can to increase production growth to even more unseen levels. We can also make friends with 2 of our biggest ops this game, and with a research alliance, we are one step closer towards victory. And with the cultural alliance with Montezuma, we're going to have to be careful, because now we can both settle without having to worry about the other's loyalty, which is good for our westwards expansion, but it also means that the Aztecs themselves will be able to do the same. All these builders, and I'm running out of room to put them. This actually might be the greatest performance I've ever done of this strategy. There's our next city, and we'll sort of continue the same thing here for now, just using builders to chop out more builders. There's our next city of Regensburg. We're gonna need food to stop it from rebelling, and an aqueduct there, and then likely... yeah, that should be good enough. Only problem is I should have moved the Hansa as well as the marketplace over here. Although, would it be... I think I'm just gonna leave it there in Hamburg for now. The snowball is getting too real as we meet Japan. Already my yields are beginning to catch up to everybody, and all my cities are only just now beginning to work on Hansas and commercial hubs and campuses. There's guilds, which might be the most powerful policy card in the game, doubling all industrial zone adjacencies. Secret societies will probably go owls for the extra economic policy slot. And with this great person, we get ourselves a heroic age. Now, that's going to be huge, because towards the Renaissance era, I think, with 3 of those unique policy cards, or whatever you call them, our game is about to skyrocket to levels unforeseen. The Western development scheme seems to be going fairly well, especially in these cities. And the only problem we might run into is the fact that they're a little too far away to be of help unless I want to eliminate Johannesburg. So the city of Trier will likely be on its own without much help. Something like this. It's still +8, which will end up being +16 with the policy card. But these cities are just going to be so much more magnificent. And that should be our last settler, pretty much maxing out our capacity for right now. The biggest goal right now, I think, is to get Aachen as many districts as possible to increase the food and production we get from trade routes. Only issue is, it looks like it is going to shrink, so I think the next trader actually has to go to Aachen and get as much food as possible. Now's about time where we could get started on campuses. There's the first of our cities in the north. There is the second. The era is ending this turn, and we were 30 points over the cutoff for a heroic age. Actually insane. Reform the coinage is strong as a Sir Hanks, and the monumentality, which will allow our builders to not only move faster, but they will also be cheaper to buy with gold. With our great engineer, we actually unlock one of the most powerful wonders in the entire game that, in the Renaissance era, still somehow hasn't been taken. And there is the third, ending for the most part our rapid expansion. We did end up overproducing 1 settler, but we could just go ahead and settle him towards the east up there. The Colosseum, giving us insane amounts of amenities for every city within a 6-tile radius, which itself is also going to give bonuses to other cities, because with more positive amenities in cities like Aachen and Berlin, cities like Trier will have more amenities freed up by the other cities having enough amenities. I don't know why I said it like that, I just decided to do it in the most convoluted way possible. And that should be the last civilization in this game. She's actually the strongest by far, holy crap. So, I forgot I wasn't recording for the last 15 turns. No funny business, of course, I'd never do that. Pretty much what happened was Harold looked like he was about to attack me. I built up my military, finished settling and building up the rest of these cities, and right now we are, yeah, you see that science and culture. You see that science and culture, baby. It is skyrocketing. We are going to the moon. We got a great person, Leonardo, which gives 3 culture for all workshops, which is just, it's just revolting, honestly. You put that in any sort of under 18 scenarios, schools, hospitals, wherever it might be, they are going to put you for indecent exposure. This is the level we are at right now. Pretty much right now we're at the point where Catherine's running away with this game, honestly. And if it wasn't for near picture perfect play by yours truly, then we would be struggling a lot to get to keep up with her. For now, we really just need entertainment complexes to get the +5 amenities. Euthia is the only city-state we don't have on lockdown right now, and monuments in every cities is probably the best way to go right now. There is literally nothing left to build in after the walls. This is just, I don't think I've ever had a game where it's been like this. These cities up to the north have been built for the most part. I'll get started on lumber mills, probably is better than the other options. Dortmund's the one that's kind of struggling a little bit as it hasn't been working too much on its districts, but that should change fairly soon. There's ballistics and the industrial age, so we should be good for right now. We can begin our beeline towards a science victory. We are getting over 100 production from 1 military policy card, and we're still at Classical Republic. I completely forgot to even go Merchant Republic. On the path to communism now, I guess it doesn't even matter. Okay, you know what, never mind. I did say we were gonna play this game almost about as perfectly as I could, so we'll go get Classical Merchant Republic as the second one, and then maybe we'll even get some nice bonuses to those boosts. The next stage is coming in 12 turns probably, so I am just trying to fill out my spawn with as many wonders as we can, typically because with the Heroic Age and the Industrial Era, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the best one in the entire game. There's 1000 science getting us industrialization in the next turn, and one of these should be enough to get us wheat to Kaloi next turn, and we're already at +3 amenities everywhere. I'm not even joking, I'm getting tired of winning. This is getting ridiculous. I almost want to say stop, it's too much winning, but the game is saying no, we're gonna keep winning, we're not gonna stop winning. I feel like I just doomed everything to an economic collapse coming soon. I was right, the era's ending in about 10 turns, and it says we're on pace for a Dark Age. Probably honestly, but if I could just get a few of these wonders, and with Merchant Republic, and with the Petra coming in the worst possible city to place it, I feel like we could go back-to-back Golden Ages. This Filipino guy will ensure we'll get Kilwa, which is actually really good, because that means all my cities are going to get a 15% boost in production, and that city specifically, Munster, is going to get a 30% boost. Only problem is Catherine at 300 science by turn 150. I don't think I've ever seen the AI play this good a game before. Merchant Republic is here, meaning coal's probably the smarter idea. Retainers isn't better than the others. And finally, colonial offices doesn't sound bad because it's the only one we got. I do think we do need this wonder thing until the next era, so we'll probably replace that with natural philosophy and then switch back with that and rationalism after the era comes to an end. And there's Apadano giving us 2 envoys. I have a lot. I think I try to get Johannesburg to 6, and then we'll get suzerainty of Ayutthaya. Tech-wise, we're about 8 behind Catherine, but a lot of them are the 1 or 2 turn technologies from the military tree. The only thing I didn't do is plan out a Ruhr Valley, which is why I left this spot open. Looking at all my cities, it seems Heidelberg is going to be the best one, so I think we go ahead right now. We'll buy a factory here, giving us more production, and then queue up the Ruhr Valley to come after this. There is Kilwa Kisanawa, giving us massive production bonuses to every city we own. We're making about 12 coal per turn, giving us more than enough to ride out the rest of this game, and the Mausoleum is going to allow us to increase the amount of charges great engineers give us, and then colonial taxes is just the icing on top of the cake. And it just gets better. We get back to back great people. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I am tired of winning. Vertical integration is going to give huge buffs to our capital, but Berlin at 115 production and +5 amenities, and once this coal power plant gets going, and then we also get the Petra, because why the hell hell not. Yeah, 127 production is just insane. And with these gilded vaults, all our high adjacency commercial hubs are going to get even more culture per turn. And it's just perfect, man. I don't think I've ever had a game this perfect. There's Chichen Itza giving us back-to-back golden ages, which is huge for us. And there is the industrial era, back-to-back golden ages, as is everybody else apparently, and it's obvious Heartbeat of Steam is going to be the choice, and we'll replace the wonders of natural philosophy. Rationalism probably isn't best to replace yet. We're gonna have to wait till communism for that. It's so crazy to me. Look at Berlin. 1 turn. A singular turn to get that theater square. Less than 10 turns for every wonder in the age. You know, let's keep going, bro. Let's get Big Ben. Ooh, we do lose out on Oxford, which is unfortunate. That's one of the better wonders in this game. We've officially overtaken Catherine with almost 300 science per turn. That's not the worst, actually. I don't care about farmlands. Yeah, there's really nothing else to build. I guess a neighborhood in replace of one of these would give me enough housing to keep growing for now. Yeah, all extra trade routes are going to go to my 167 production capital here in Berlin. I'll go Casa this game because I do have a good number of cities not on my Oh my god, you're telling me Berlin's not on my continent? Despite the fact they're right beside each other, good job for Axis. 15% more production's disgusting. James Watt's going to give us an extra 4 production since I used him twice to get even more insane yields for our industrial zones. I think a harbor in Berlin for the housing's a good idea. We are struggling on that. There's the Ruhr Valley in this city, although I don't think it matters too much since, yeah, it's still nowhere near as strong as Berlin. And there is Big Ben, as well as, more importantly, research labs. This is going to finally allow us to skyrocket, because we're still only at 244 science per turn somehow. I thought we'd be a little higher. Rationalism might help somewhat. 15% faster growth, actually. I think it's better than Raj, especially since Berlin counts as on another continent. Okay, yeah, there we go. 332 science is much better. The issue is our detour towards military units to stop Harold. I don't think I recorded that, but that's really what kind of caused us to struggle since we have gotten research labs extraordinarily late. Although honestly, if Harold declared war on me, with my unprepared army of warriors, he probably would have fucking destroyed me, so it was the right idea, but unfortunately it did end up putting us behind. Space Initiative will give a 30% boost to Berlin when it is building spaceship parts. This is gonna be the greatest game I've ever had. Alright, here we go. Berlin right now, it's +5, 190 production. Once we get Casa, I want to see how much it is. We're at 190, 189.9, same thing. There it is, there's Casa. And, I thought that said gain production, not lose. Oh, there it is. I just nutted all over the screen. I wish you guys could see it. There's Indoctrination giving us a wildcard slot. Don't need any of you, and with this wildcard slot, amenities would be good, but I don't know if it's worth it. Raj, maybe? I think it's gotta be retainers. We have so many military units that we can go ahead and put 1 in each city. You can go there, you've already got 1. There we go, just a fairly simple way to get 20 amenities all at once. Ooh, that's not good. Yeah, they're gonna start sabotaging. I'm gonna have to start building spies now. 300 culture per turn. I don't think I've ever gotten a number this high in a science victory before. I've got 5 spies in production. All are going to be sent to Berlin. I'm about to make the Iron Curtain look like a border wall. We do have 2 sources of aluminum. One of them is under a wonder, which is good. We're going to have to get the other one, though. There's ideology. That's perfect. I think we go levy en masse, and then 5-year plan. Economic union. Economic union. No, I don't think we need that. I think this is good for now. All my amenities everywhere are at least +3, a couple more zoos, and then maybe the Estadia wonder, and it should easily get to +5 in every city. There's rocketry, meaning now I can 9-turn spaceports. Actually, it's a no way. 9-turn spaceport is actually insane. Yeah, I got every spy in Berlin right now just wishing a spy would. We're starting to suffer from a coal problem. We're looking at -6 per turn. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. Oh, no wonder we were only at +3. I forgot to buy luxuries again. I should be able to buy some from, yeah, I could buy some from my allies. This is where things start to get crazy. Right now, wait, did she say I was her lover? I'm not going anywhere near that double-chin old hag. But more importantly, class struggle, right? Looking at this, we're at 219 production. Now, communism, 0.6 production per cities with governors, and that's something Berlin has. So we'll just get the equestrian order and I guess military. We'll go logistics. That really does not matter. We'll put aesthetics up there, and then right here, collectivization, more production and food from domestic trade routes. And if we do all that, the city now in Berlin should be looking at, let's continue our iron wall and I guess put him in the campus or something. 250 production in a singular city, and Estadio de Marcona is going to give us 2 envoys in every city, and we even have an engineer ready for. This is just too much. Yeah, Stadio's gonna push the rest of our umpire to +5, which is really nice. We got 1 turn. I'll probably just shift enter in Aachen right now. There's professional sports and sports media, I guess. Stadiums generate an amenity. That's good because we do need a stadium in order for us to get started on the Estadio de Marcona Wonder. And then once we use Gustavo Eiffel's 3 charges, we get one of the most powerful wonders in this game. Every city now is sitting at +5 amenities, meaning for all non-food bonuses, they get a 20% increase. And honestly, I think I can go further. I think just winning the game wouldn't do justice to how absolutely broken this civilization is. So here's the plan. We are going to attempt to get Augustus. I think in all my time of playing Civ 6, I have never gotten the Augustus score type, and to get that you need like 2,500. Might not be possible, but we're definitely gonna make a play for it. 3 turns for the Earth satellite, by the way. I don't think we'll have enough time to get Augustus. I actually have 10. I have 10. Okay, well I have 9. 9 amenities in Berlin. This is actually insane. The only issue I have is I'm losing 12 coal per turn, so every couple of turns I just have to keep increasing the amount. The good news is that after we explore the entire map, I should be able to get whatever science or culture or even industrial city-states that I need for the rest of this game. Because of course, with the Kilwa-Kisanawa Wonder, those cities are going to be even more broken than normal. Yeah, also I made a mistake earlier. The amenities didn't show. I don't have +5, I have +7 or 8 in every single city. There is the Earth satellite giving me view of the entire globe, and looking at it, Tusa could be nice. I think Antananarivoru's probably the best one, just so we could get 15% culture in every city. Not as if we need it, I mean, we are doubling up science and culture with every other civ in the entire game. And conservation should be enough to get all of these city-states. Let me just ensure I secure both of them. 200 culture from just that? You have to be shitting me. I want to get Johannesburg so bad, but we don't have another production city-state. I can't do that. I can't do it to Ayutthaya either. There really isn't any other city-state I can do this to. The best is probably see if I can get a corporate. I can get a corporation. That's perfect. Could you imagine I got that corporation in Berlin? I mean, I do have an amber industry. Actually, hold on a second. I think I have enough amber. We'll wait on that a bit. 7 turns left, and I've already secured the next golden age. Something I should have done earlier, I'm going to give every strong production tile here to Berlin, putting us at 234.5 production. There's the moon landing. I got that in less than 6 turns. I wonder how long it's going to take me to get the next project. I don't have the next project, actually. Wow. So much production. I am suffering from success. 3 more envoys. This is my first science city-state, by the way. I put them in Hattusa. 70 science right there. There's globalization, meaning 2 production for all trade routes. Yeah, International Space Station. I think I have to sacrifice Republican Legacy for that. That puts us at over 1,200 science per turn. And we might as well finish you off, why not? It's funny, my other cities are so strong, Aachen's the only one that's yet to build a spaceport. And there's the modern era golden age, meaning, now with environmentalism, I might even win a culture victory before I win a Dominic, a science one. There we go, we can faith by the next great merchant, and while I could use her to gain more diplomatic visibility, I do think using it for a corporation is much better. better. Nanotechnology, the tech tree is not looking the best, I'm gonna be honest. But now here in Berlin, we could get another 6 turns to the end of that Mars colony, almost 300 production, by the way. 3 more envoys into Hattusa gives me another 70 science from just that. Black Marketer to Madness for more era score, and yeah, sure, why not? Let's give tile appeals. And with this, we're now able to immediately get 1.5 technologies. Where do I think? If I do that, okay, I do need robotics, so I think I do nuclear fission and robotics, because I'm fairly certain Exoplanet Expedition is going to be on, it's definitely going to be here. It's more likely going to be these lower 2, because, 2's more than 1. I am so sick of just having to buy coal literally every 5 turns because I am running out of energy. Like, look at this, I'm spending, oh, okay, well, it's not too bad anymore, but I was spending like, okay, there it is, I'm spending 9 coal per turn. That's insane. I think we start saving up this money as well so I can start buying great people. If I had to say I made a mistake this game, I think it'd be not focusing on great engineers as well as great scientists as much as I should have. I think I'm gonna get them anyway, but I think the 20% production's too big to pass up on, to risk. Yeah, sure, why not? With Mausoleum, I can use them twice for a 40% boost to all spaceship parts, meaning after Mars Colony, we are, oh man, if I just wasn't sidetracked by that near-war declaration from Denmark, I would have just, I should have risked it on. I should have risked it, I really should have, because then we would have gotten industrialization a lot earlier. It just gives me even more science. We would have gotten research labs a lot easier, and with those research labs, like 20 turns before normal, I feel like it would have been like turn 195 and we would have been at the stage we're currently at. There's smart materials, that's perfect actually. And yeah, like I predicted, it was over, well, it wasn't here, I guess it was over here. So we just need smart materials and then 4 total technologies and then this game's over. I'm surprised Denmark has so much score. I guess they were able to settle almost everywhere eventually, but they were one of the weaker civs in the early going. Yeah, we're over 8 technologies over 2nd place. And even still, Catherine's so much further ahead of John Curtin. We're quite literally 16 technologies over the vast majority of the opposition. We'll get the Manhattan Project. I got a city? I didn't even notice that. Well, it doesn't really matter. We are about to go to space in less than 5 turns. There's the Exoplanet Expedition, meaning the countdown to space victory has just begun. Yeah, sure, we'll do that. And then I think we really don't have to do much, honestly. Off-world mission's gonna be next turn. I did buy a great engineer. I'm not sure where he is, but 1,500 production towards spaceship parts was his ability. And then Berlin here at 280 production per turn. We'll start stacking up all the laser stations. I'm fairly certain I built them in every city of my empire. I'm not even joking, but okay, well, not this one. But 90% of these I have just... Let's use them again. There we go. We'll hit next turn, and next turn I think is when most of my other cities' Lagrange projects are coming. Oh no, it's the turn after. Still, it doesn't really matter. We pretty much just won. It's going to be a shift enter for the rest of the game. We're traveling at 5 light years per turn. It's going to end up being 6, 7, 8... That right there is going to be 9, 10 soon, so yeah, pretty much this game. I feel like this game especially, what I wanted to do was try to play this a bit slower than I normally do, because normally I don't really care about adjacencies, I don't really care about going out of my way to get the biggest number possible, and while I've definitely had faster games than this, I think a huge reason of why I struggle, like turn 232 is a pretty good victory, 233, 233 or 234, they're pretty good victories, but I think I was in a position where if I didn't have Norway threatening me in the northeast, I most definitely would have gotten research labs. I wasted like, I think it was 10 turns trying to get those No, it was more than that, because I remember the musketmen is what I wanted to go for, and that required, no, it was field cannons. So that was like 15, 20 turns minimum of just trying to catch up in military technology, and then obviously I spent more money and more resources trying to upgrade the military, and then buying niter since I didn't have enough. So I think overall together, you could probably shave off 15, 20 turns if I wouldn't have had to build the military. I got Marcus Aurelius 1,000 behind Augustus. I feel like the only way I could have done that is if I would have actually gone to war. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be back next week-ish. I'll see you all next time. Peace.